Good evening, Facebook. I don't know. This is the second video that I've referred to my streaming platform as Facebook. This is YouTube. Um, so this video, I decided that I was going to do a video on trauma, mainly for myself, but also others who have been through trauma. I think mostly what this video is going to talk about is the video is going to talk about trauma in general, how it affects people, how it affects people you love, how it affects just in general. So for me, first let me introduce myself. My name is Roxanne. I'm a transsexual female. Most of the time, I just refer to myself as female. And I like to do video logs. Most people like blogging. Most people just like putting stuff on Substacks. I like putting stuff on YouTube because it's kind of just dystopian, and I like the dystopian feel and vibe of it. So, so about trauma. Trauma is like, it's like your body trying to fight a disease. Imagine that you're sick or something, and you have a cold, or you have a bad flu or something. If you have a really bad flu, then you're going to struggle. And it's sort of like what having trauma is like. Having trauma is a lot like struggling physically. I mean, that's basically what it is. Trauma is basically just you're struggling with something, and it's like, it's like being shot in the leg. If you get shot in the leg, you're going to struggle. It's going to take time for you to come around. But trauma can also be debilitating too. I think I'm using that word correctly. 1 second. Girls gotta stay hydrated. So, trauma is a lot like being shot. You're going to suffer with trauma. You're going to suffer a lot with trauma. Trauma is very debilitating, and it can trauma can cause a lot of issues. Sorry, I had to reply to a message. Trauma is very debilitating. It's crippling. I'm going to speak on all trauma tonight, but I think mainly what I'm going to refer to is BPD, crippling depression. I guess I don't have DID, but I know people that have struggled with DID. There was someone on TikTok today that was talking about DID. I just want to say real quickly, at some point in the future, I might or might not move from YouTube to TikTok. I don't know yet. I don't even know how long this video is going to be. I would say I'm going to at least go for maybe, I don't know. I'm going to go until I run out of stuff that's related to my topic. So, basically, trauma is very crippling. Trauma will make you feel like someone ripped your spine out of your body. It'll make you feel weak. It'll make you feel, it's like feeling hungry. You're so fucking hungry that you just don't feel like doing anything. Trauma can make you feel existentially weak. It can make you feel crippling. It can make you feel. It can make you feel. It can make you feel drained, and uh, I guess like trauma does a lot of damage to people. I have at least a BPD episode every other week or every week, but I would say every other week on my accord. For me, trauma has been very debilitating. It's not nice. It's not good. It's crippling. It's shitty. It's horrible. And it's not a good feeling to have, and you kind of gotta have yourself busy, you gotta you have to distract yourself. You can't allow yourself to be defeated or weakened by trauma. Now, trauma can come in many different forms. It can be in physical, it can be in mental, it can be in emotional. For me, it's more emotional and mental. I've struggled with mental health my whole life, and I still haven't really made no progress with it. I still suffer with it. Trauma, it just rips you from the inside out, and it's not nothing good. It's really shitty, and it's really tough to get over. Sorry, I'm tired. It's really defeating. Trauma is very defeating. It makes you feel lack of confidence. It makes you feel very insecure about yourself. You challenge yourself, you question yourself. You second guess yourself, and that's not something good to have. You have to it's kind of like, I'm going to give you another example. Trauma is like a lot like swimming in the middle of the ocean, and the ocean is so strong, it's a storm, and no matter how much you try to pull yourself to the surface, you just keep drowning and drowning and drowning. That's basically what trauma is. You're trying to move up to the top, and you're trying to swim to the top of the surface, but you can't. It's just really difficult. It's fucked up, and it's just, yeah. And I don't know me personally, I don't know what to do about trauma. There's not much I can do about it besides try to fight back. But in all honesty, if I'm being absolutely 100% honest with y'all, whenever, and you can ask people, you could ask people who talk to me, they would tell you, I give up very easily. I've always given up very easily, that's just who I am. It's how I am. I just, it's something I've always been bad at, I just always give up too easily. And that has a lot to do with a lot of my trauma as a kid, sexual abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse. That has a lot to do with it. There's nothing that can really be helped about it. You can't change the past, but you can change the future, and you can change how it affects you. And trauma just doesn't affect you. It affects everybody around you. It's very bad. It will fuck you up. It'll rip you from the inside out. It's like almost like tearing somebody's spine out, It'll seriously fuck you up. Some people don't even come back from trauma. Some people just, they just remain defeated. They can't overcome trauma. So they just allow themselves to be defeated. And that's how it is for some people. I know that's how it seems for me. It seems like I'll never, and this is just this isn't a belief. it seems like I will never be able to get through my trauma. Um, I've noticed since I've been having trauma though, like my mindset is different than it was before. My mindset is different than how it was before a long time ago. Like I used to just be like completely defeated, and it's like now I'm having what I would call a generational shift, I guess, or like what I felt 10 years ago, I feel now. Like I guess like a relapse, I guess is what you could call it, trauma. That's kind of like what I'm feeling. Um, and I don't know, like I'm trying to do the best I can to deal with my trauma. It's really tough, but I think that if I keep trying, I'll make it through my trauma. I just it takes a lot of consistency to not want to give up. It takes a lot of consistency to not want to fight and frustrate, Like you have to really, really try. You can't give in. You can't let it defeat you. It's very frustrating. Um, you have to keep trying. You have to keep fighting. Um, you can't let trauma defeat you. Trauma is a lot like a virus. If it gets to the wrong parts of your body, it becomes terminal, and you're going to die from it. Trauma is no different than syphilis or gonorrhea. It's a lot like syphilis or gonorrhea, pretty much. Um, I would say that if I had to name 5 things that I could do differently for trauma, I would say one would be like art or supplies. Um, like doing art. Um, I would say doing art is one way to deal with trauma. Playing video games is a very common one. Um, Exercising, bodybuilding, that's what I'm into. I'm planning on doing bodybuilding pretty soon. Um, so yeah, I want to do bodybuilding and I want to get my body to a more thick, healthy level. But I also want to be healthy too. I want to adjust my genetics based on um, what I want for my life. And the only way to do that is to make lifestyle changes. You have to make lifestyle changes. You have to put forth an effort to want to better yourself. If you don't want to better yourself, you're not going to get better. Your trauma is just going to continually roll over on you over and over and over, and you have to keep fighting. You can't give up. You have to no matter what the situation, and I know it's hard to think like this in situations with trauma. Like in trauma, you feel completely defeated, like it's impossible, but you have to find a way, some way. You have to find a way to not give up. You know, you have to fight back, because if you don't fight back, you're never gonna get nowhere. You can't just give up. Like, it's weird because I feel like I should be telling myself this when I'm in those moments, when I'm having PTSD, CPSD, major trauma, major depression, BPD above all. BPD is it's like getting fucked raw and you can't do nothing about it. If you were a complete body amputee and you were getting fucked, that's basically what it's like. There's a reason why I made this particular video 18 plus, because a lot of people that are underage don't need to be hearing about stuff like this. Yeah, they should think about it, but it's not something they should. No minor should hear it. If you're at least 18, 17 or 18, maybe, but I just like to restrict my videos to adults only. If y'all are wondering why I sound like this, it's because I have my tongue pierced. But I don't know. Like, I like to just reach out to other people. I like to put myself out there. I like to be known. I don't know. I want people to know that they're not alone with their struggles. There are people like me who suffer very badly, and we suck at asking for help. I know I do. I don't like to ask for help because it makes me feel weak. I only just started being comfortable with asking for help. So yeah, like, trauma affects you and everybody you're involved with. Trauma is tough. It's no easy part. It's no easy a walk in the park. That's for sure. It's more like a fucking. It's more of like a damn. It's more like a. It's not a race, but trauma is more of a. It's a journey. Literally, I know that's kind of a weird word to use, but trauma can put you in some really fucked up places. But in the end, you're really beautiful. You come out very beautiful. You come out a lot stronger because you know differently. But you have to be careful not to want to feel yourself too much. For example, me, when I get depressed and I have bad BPD, I like to feel myself, and that's not good. That's very, very bad, actually. It's bad to want to feel yourself. It's not a good thing. You feel yourself too much and you get used to it. You don't want to. That's all you resort to. Okay. Sorry, I wanted to get my squish ball. Funny story about the squish ball is it actually helped with trauma. I like to think that it takes the focus off of it. Yeah, the thing about trauma is you can't give up. You have to keep fighting. You have to keep trying. You can't just give up. Like, somehow, some way, you have to push through. It's hard. It's rough. And these thoughts and these feelings that you have, these insecurities, these inferiorities, whatever it is that you may struggle with, no judgment from where I'm at. I'm trying to remember what I was going to say. Fuck. Trauma from where I'm at, like, no matter where you're at with your trauma, you have to learn to overcome, because you're never going to get through it unless you don't overcome. Like, you have to overcome. You can't let your trauma defeat you. You have to be bigger than your trauma. If you let your trauma defeat you, it'll defeat you forever. And I would imagine that you don't want to be defeated forever. I know I don't. No matter what you deal with, no matter what you go through, everything has an end and everything happens for a reason. Me personally, I don't really speak religion or politics. I think more so yesterday I stopped speaking politics. I stopped giving in to all all the like the socialist shit. I don't know how I feel about it now, but as far as spirituality goes, this Sprite's really good. As far as spirituality goes, spirituality can be very tempting. It can be bad, it can be good. But spirituality for me is just basically polytheism. I believe very much in polytheism, and I believe that no matter what you believe in, whatever you believe, it's something. You believe in something. So if you can believe in Jesus Christ, Allah, Hindu, Wiccan, pagan, so on and so forth, then you obviously have some kind of construct. You believe in something. So if you can believe in something, you can believe in yourself. And that goes double for loving yourself. If you can love My Chemical Romance or Slipknot or Typo Negative or The Birthday Massacre or Pantera or Leonard fucking Skinner, if you can love any of that, then you can love yourself. And this is coming from a girl who doesn't know how to love herself at all. I don't know how to love myself. I'm very shitty at it. In fact, I beat myself up. I beat myself up more than anything. So I'm learning to love myself. It's very rough because I'm only like 10 months in a transition. I'm 10 months in a transition, and pardon me. I'm 10 months in a transition, and this is kind of off topic, but I'm 10 months in a transition. Somebody that I follow and that I was friends with on Facebook before I started pushing her away, she went through some of the same shit that I went through, and I hope this doesn't cause any problems, but her name is Justina Prokowski. She's a sweetheart. She's beautiful. She's gorgeous. She's so smart and funny and autistic. I've had a crush on her for as long as I can remember, at least since last year, last November. I would say last August, September, November, somewhere around there. We've been friends for off and on for about a year. So like Justina Brokowski, where she was 2-3 back in like 2023, 2022, that's where I'm at now. So I'm where she was 2-3 years ago in transition. She had been transitioning since 2021. I should have asked permission to say all this, but I don't think she's even going to see this video. So, but that still doesn't make it right. But my point is that like me being through transition, there's a lot of trauma. With transition, I'm regrowing, I'm developing mentally and emotionally all over again. A second puberty. That is like a second puberty would be like it's not the same thing because I know cis women are different, but going through second puberty is similar to cis women going through a second going through a second puberty is almost like going through a second pregnancy. Thank you for the comment. I suck with getting distracted. Yes. Going through second puberty is similar to going through a second pregnancy, but it's not entirely the same thing. Pregnancy is physical, emotional pain. Puberty is just more of like mental and emotional. It's not really physical pain unless you count like hurting yourself because you don't understand the second puberty and it's stressful. So, but yeah, like Justina went through so much shit, and it's just like I look at Justina now and it's just like, wow, she's been through so much, but yet she came out fucking clean as a fucking whistle on the other side. Like I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Shawshank Redemption, but there's a reference in the movie, and it basically says that Andy Dufresne came out clean on the other side. He crawled through a ton of shit, and he came out clean on the other side. So that's like That's sort of how Justina was. She went through so much shit. She's worked so hard, and she's been through so much crap with her and Maddie breaking up. Or I don't know the entire story. It's none of my business, and I don't want to know unless she wants to tell me. But her and Maddie broke up, and I can't imagine how traumatizing that was. I had just seen earlier videos on TikTok, and yeah, from her TikTok, where it shows why she. Well, it didn't say why they were breaking up, but I have never seen Justina Barkowski cry like that. I'm saying her name wrong, Barkowski. I've never seen Justina Barkowski cry and get upset like that. It's the first time I've ever seen it. There was one video where she was crying singing Maddie Happy Birthday, but I've never seen Justina Barkowski cry like that. It was just like, it was like looking in the mirror at myself. Like seeing Justina cry was like, wow, that's what Roxanne's going through. That's what I'm going through. I'm, Roxanne. So like that's what I was going through. I was going through that. I'm going through that now, like crying, the emotions. That's all part of this. I mean, I had surgery, not bottom, but I've had a orchiectomy, which removes the testes and suppresses testosterone. So I've had that. I've taken testosterone out of my body. Pardon me. Testosterone is still in my body. You have to have testosterone. You can't live without it. So last time I had my levels checked, it was like an 8. My levels are checked at like 8%, 8 PG or PL or whatever. So I still have testosterone in my body. But I don't make up the same amount of levels as a typical cis male. I mean, I'm not a cis male. I'm a woman. I'm a woman mentally and emotionally. But, because I'm transitioning, that makes me a trans woman. But I just usually say I'm a transsexual woman. So, I agree with what you said. AFAB puberty is difficult. And when people who want to transition to, I don't use male to female to identify myself because it's kind of like, hey, you're a man going to a female. It's like a slap in the face. But when I describe myself, I use transsexual female, or I use female, or I use woman on occasion. I use woman on occasion, but like, so when you're transitioning, it's rough on your body and your mind and your emotions. I mean, you got to think about it. You're changing your hormones. You're changing everything about yourself. Your body's going through all these changes, I could give you an analogy, but it would sound really stupid and it probably wouldn't make sense. But it'd be me being autistic because I'm autistic. Informally, but I'm autistic nevertheless. But like, so like you're putting these different hormones in your body, and your body has to adjust to it. That takes time. That's not something that can happen over fucking night. And I've had to learn that. I've been very impatient. It happens. It happens with people. Some people are naturally patient. I'm just not one of those girls that is. I'm very impatient. But so like I have to learn to let the hormones and stuff adjust in my body all over again. I don't even remember my first fucking puberty. I don't. So like, kind of like to move back towards the actual subject. I'm not sure. So I'm not sure how long the video is going to go for. Max, I think initially I wanted to go for 2 hours, but that's a lot. I don't think I could go for 2 hours. Maybe if I'm having I don't know the technical term for it, but like a super autistic high is what I would call it. An intellectual autistic high, maybe. But I would say that, forgive me, I'm having an autistic moment. I would say that if when you're going through puberty, it's traumatizing, not just for you, but for your body. Your body has to account for everything you're going through, and you have to process it. So Justina, everything that she's been through, she worked her fucking ass off for it. I mean, there have been times when I was jealous of her. Yeah, of course. I mean, why wouldn't I be? She's beautiful. She's sweet. She's nice. She's funny. When she makes YouTube videos, they just pop. When she does makeup, it just pops. Like I can't imagine. I can't assume that just happened. Yes, some girls are talented, but some girls gotta learn stuff. Like all these actors and actresses and music artists, they didn't learn to just twerk and do this and do that. They had to work for it. They had to learn that. Some of it is cultural. Some of it is just like it's part of their culture. They already know it. Justina might be one of those girls where she just knows it. It just comes with the territory. But so yeah, like transition takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work and takes a lot of patience. And I am going to hopefully be starting my new diet, high protein diet, sometime later this week, meaning that no more Domino's, no more McDonald's. I'll still drink milk and stuff, but that's kind of off topic though. Trauma is not a battle, it is a war. Imagine if trauma were to last from, for example, I'm going to use the Afghanistan war as an example. I might be mistaken. I don't know my history with the wars, but say, for example, that trauma lasted from like the Afghan war all the way till up until the point when Obama was president. I think it was Obama. Maybe it was Trump. I can't remember. Anyways, one of the presidents pulled us out of war. Imagine if trauma lasted that long. That would be hellacious. That would be traumatizing. I couldn't imagine how people would feel having to deal with that every day for that fucking long. That's rough. That's really serious. And you have to find some kind of middle ground in between there. You have to find a middle ground. You have to find a way to cope throughout that process, like you have to learn to cope with your trauma. I'm going to move into the next part of this discussion because I'm at 32 minutes and 43 seconds. I'm probably going to go up to just 40 minutes and that's it. But imagine if, imagine if you somehow overcome your trauma. How are you going to feel on the other side? It's going to be like working for years and years and years to buy that nice car that you want, that you really, really want. You've worked for it. You deserve it. You worked for it. So now you have the car that you want. You broke your back for it and you got it. Pardon me. So yeah, once you trauma, how it affects people you love and people you care about, it affects them just as bad as it affects you. And what I mean is that trauma can affect people you love and care about. People can choose not to be involved with you because of your trauma. They can choose not to fuck with you or not to talk to you or not even be around you when you're having your traumatic episodes. If you've ever watched the show Intervention, that's a good example. That trauma is a good example of why you should, why you have to be persistent. People that have drug addictions, when they overcome it, they don't overcome it overnight. They have to work. They have to work their whole fucking life to overcome that shit. And it takes time and it takes patience. You have to be consistent. Egypt wasn't built in a day. It takes time. You have to keep trying with trauma. And you would think, like, with someone like me, like a girl like me, you would think that I would, the way I talk and the way I'm talking about it, you would think that it's easy, or it's not easy in that moment. It's very hard. Trauma feels a lot like drowning, and if you're involved with people, partners, lovers, polyamorous, whatever, if you're involved with them, then they're going to drown with you. They're going to drown with you. They're going to drown with you when you suffer because they care about you and they love you. It affects other people. Your trauma is like a meticulous, malicious disease. It spreads from one person to the other. And sometimes people you're not involved with, it'll spread to them too, believe it or not. It just depends on the situation. Um, it just Trauma is rough. It's horrible. It can have a negative effect on you. And if you don't catch it at a certain time, if you don't catch your trauma at a certain time, it can fuck you up. Like it fucked me up. I'm 34 physically, but I'm 22 mentally. And my trauma has flipped me upside down and kicked my ass numerous times. Because of that, I've lost people that I really care about and that people that really liked me. But there are sometimes when trauma there are sometimes when trauma benefited me. Like I've gotten through some shit because of my trauma. Like my trauma has taught me so much, and I still have a lot to learn. I still have a lot to learn about my trauma. BPD is the current one that I'm dealing with. BPD and depression. That is my major trauma. BPD and trauma has taught me quite a lot, and I'm still learning. And I don't have a family. I don't have a mother, never have. My father, he's a fucking mystery to me. So, yeah, trauma has done some really bad, fucked up things. And it's rough. Trauma can fuck you up. A trauma is a lot like a fucking earthquake. I'm going to use these last 3 minutes in this video to talk about future projects. I said like a couple months ago I was going to do videos on trauma and a bunch of other stuff, but I would kind of like want to go in the same direction as Justina and kind of like just move to like different topics and stuff, like movie ratings, stuff I recommend, stuff I don't recommend. I guess like street smarts type of shit, like that's the type of stuff I want to do videos on, not just trauma. Like I guess what I'm saying is I want to do videos on shit that I know about, that I have experience with. I'm not going to talk to y'all about something that I don't have experience with, like fucking driving a motorcycle. Why would I talk to y'all about that? I don't have no experience on that. That'd be fucking dumb as hell to talk to y'all about something like that. I don't have experience with nothing like that. So the only thing I want to do is I want to talk to you about stuff that I do know about. And overall, the goal for me making these videos is to be able to reach people. To be able to reach people like myself and to try to like help people, like other people, specifically transsexual people and intersex and people that feel alone and feel like they don't fit in. Those are the people I want to help, and that's why I do the YouTube videos. And Justina Barkowski has definitely encouraged me to do that. She inspired me. She's the reason why I do these YouTube videos. If it wasn't for Justina, I wouldn't be doing them. So with that, Roxanne's gonna wrap up her video for today. The Roxanne Show, as I call it. Anyways, I wish y'all all a happy holidays. These holidays are gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough for me, and I know it's gonna be rough for y'all. But I hope that y'all have a good holiday season. And a happy New Year. I'm still trying to figure out what my New Year's goals are gonna be. Honestly, I think my New Year's goals are probably going to be, I don't know. I'll probably do a YouTube video on that, actually, like a week before, maybe a week or two before. Actually, a week before before New Year's Eve. But yeah, like I can do a video on that if that's what y'all want. Y'all also, here's an option. Y'all can also give me suggestions of what stuff to do videos on too. As long as it's not stuff that's hateful or homophobic or transphobic or racist, I'm not going to do nothing on that because that's a touchy subject, and I don't trust myself that I know enough about that to talk about it. So I'd rather just talk about how I just want to talk about stuff I do know. So, anyways, future videos that y'all can expect. Y'all can expect more videos in the future. I'm grateful for everybody that watched, which, as far as I know, is only like one person. But I guess that's the point of having the share option, right? Is to share the video. I am going to share it on TikTok, and the next time I do a video, I'm going to make sure to remember to give out my my handles and my streaming platforms. So thank y'all for watching. I really appreciate it. And Roxanne's out. Mwah.